This is John from Creationism and Baraminology Research News. This video series is a set of short clips detailing arguments and evidences for intelligent design and creationism, and also arguments against Darwinism. We hope you enjoyed the series and that this stimulates your thinking in this area. In this clip, we're going to talk about how choice relates to the debate between intelligent design and Darwinism. Most people don't understand the relationship that choice plays in this whole debate. William Dembski, in his explanatory filter, tries to separate out between three different types of causes: natural law, chance, and agency. Now, agency basically means kind of the conglomeration of choice and creativity. Now, the fundamental question that needs to be asked before we try to separate anything out into these categories is, do these categories actually exist independently? Agency is fundamentally a type of cause all on its own. While it is constrained by law and impacted by chance, fundamentally it is its own type of cause. Think about it this way. If all behavior in the world was governed by deterministic laws, would that really be choice? If I could predict ahead of time what you were going to think, what you were going to say, and everything about you based on, having super knowledge about all the world as it currently stands, would that really be choice if I could do that? Also, if you say that there is natural law and chance, if you were to say that your thoughts were constrained by law and that the only variation from a natural law that they had was just happenstance or chance or some sort of random variable, would that really be choice too? What intelligent design suggests is that agency, choice, is a fundamental cause in the universe. That there are things that are caused by choice that are not caused by anything else. And that's one thing that is often missed in this whole debate. Darwinists usually assume that every part of life can be broken down into natural law or the combination of natural law and chance. Design theorists believe that choice is not only a fundamental cause in the world, but it can also be detectable because it has fundamental properties that can be detected. Now, it is different than law and chance because law is deterministic. We can determine ahead of time what it should be, and therefore, when we come up with a theory that proposes laws, we can test those mathematically to determine if the outcome is exactly what was expected. Likewise, with true randomness, randomness obeys statistical properties, and therefore we can determine whether or not something is statistically random based on mathematical analysis of the results, and we can predict ahead of time what those statistics will look like. In the case of choice, the whole point of choice is that it is not predictable in the future. Now we can, what design theorists think we can do is we think that we can detect after the fact whether or not a given structure needed to be put there by an agent, whether or not it needed this kind of choice causation in order to be established. And so design theory focuses on the certain things that designers are likely to do and ways to detect whether or not an object has been through a design stage. One common question is that if choice is a fundamental cause in the universe, how does choice interact with law and chance? That is, if you have the laws of physics, does choice violate the laws of physics? When you make a choice, are you going against what the laws of physics would say? This has concerned many people in this area. This is currently an area of active research, but one promising idea is called quantum interactive dualism. I'll spare you the details, but in short, it's that physics has an openness. That is, the laws of physics are open to multiple possibilities. And that is choice that chooses one possibility over another. So choice never violates the laws of physics, but instead uses the openness that is already present in physics to work. In our brains, we actually have areas in our brains that maximize that openness, and therefore our brains become an amplifier for choice. So as you can see, saying that something was the result of choice does not necessarily mean that it was the result of going against natural law. In fact, it could very well, many people who are both intelligent design advocates and biblical creationists do not think that any physical laws were violated in the creation of the world or the creation of life, and that it all happened within the physical laws, but that they happened as the result of choice. So as you can see, there's no fundamental problem with choice as a fundamental cause and the laws of physics as a fundamental cause. They can coexist together. But one question that choice does bring is that if choice is real, where did it come from? If choice is not just a combination of law and chance, then what is it? When did it start? If you cannot get to choice by simply having law and randomness, then that means that whatever caused choice must have been more than law and randomness. Now, one thing to consider about choice and agency is that it may not be a single thing. We may find out as design science goes forward that choice is actually made of a number of things. I wouldn't doubt that if creativity, choice, and perhaps strength of will are all separate categories within this whole category of agency. Perhaps these are all fundamental causes. It is too early to tell for sure, but the fact remains that there is something outside of law and chance that we experience every day. In fact, if you think about it, choice is our fundamental experience. Every day, every minute of our lives, we experience choice. So to have a science that denies choice is simply nonsensical. Since choice exists, we need to know where it comes from. Now, if choice is real, then choice cannot be a product of simple law and chance. Now, it may be that you don't think that choice is real at all. In that case, having the discussion is somewhat pointless, since neither of us have any choice about what we think about it. But if choice is real, then we have to ask where it comes from. It can't be simply a product of law and chance, otherwise it wouldn't be choice. If at any point in the history of life, law and chance were the only causes in the universe, then something outside the universe must have imparted choice onto it, because we can't get there from law and chance. Or perhaps, instead of it being imported, perhaps choice was there all along. But then in what form? Was it there from the beginning? If it was, what shape did it take? Now, as a creationist, I believe that God set forth choice in humans when he breathed the breath of life in them. So the questions I will leave you with are these. Is choice real, or is choice just an illusion? If choice is real, where did it come from? If choice is real, can you detect it? Think about those things, and we'll talk about various aspects of them in future videos. Thank you for joining us.